All right, so systems behind the scenes, learn the systems and processes that run the machine. This is different from the
Onboarding.
onboarding. Onboarding was more about the systems we use to get the content, to get the experts on here. This is the systems of the back end, how we run the back end, how we get feedback and testimonials and all that stuff, and our email marketing and all that stuff. So you're going to learn how to determine your flywheel here. You're going to learn your new member systems, course consumption systems, certification, getting hired systems, testimonial process. So more of the back end of things. So
all right, so Justin mentioned flywheel earlier, but I just wanted to explain, like, the flywheel concept is when you focus on really small wins that keep the momentum of your business going. So like, if I do this, this happens, and that leaps us forward to the next thing. So it's like a trigger point. If you've ever seen those, I forget what they're called right now, but like you bounce a ball and it rolls to here and it dings this and a marble goes. It's like it has these cause and effect.
Rube Goldberg machine or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But like that's sort of what a flywheel is. It's you're doing this and that's triggering this, and these, like, all of these small wins keep that flywheel moving on its own.
Yeah. If you've ever been on a rowing machine, that first row is kind of hard, but because it's in motion, the next one is easy and you're able to kind of get a rhythm going. And so
Right.
that's
It's the same thing for the flywheel. So I'm going to walk you backwards because that's sort of how my brain works when it comes to creating systems. I think about our end goal and I figure out what do we need to do to go from the end goal leading all the way back to the first step. So if I want new customers, that's my main goal, then I'm going to need testimonials or case studies. That's the biggest qualifier that gives us authority, credibility. Like when we share testimonials and case studies or proof that what we teach gets a higher revenue for a person, that gets us new members. Anytime we ever shared an interview for any of our members, it got us new members. And so like, I was like, all right, so we need more of these. So now how do we get more of those? Well, whenever we get them hired, they pretty much come back to us and say, oh, you've changed my life forever. My family is drastically different than when I first met you. And so like, in order for me to get phenomenal testimonials, I need to get that person hired, which is our certification program. And in order to get them hired, I need to give them, I sometimes hate this.
I just want to jump in here. Get hired, what might be different for you. So if this was a fishing site, you would be like, they
catch more fish.
They catch their first trout or they catch their first pike or something like that.
Or they never leave a lake or a fishing session with no fish, right?
If it was esports, they win their first tournament. You know, if it was heavy equipment operation, they get their first gig, you know, their first side job, you know, running a bulldozer for somebody or something.
So in order to get them hired, I need to make sure they consume and apply, not just consume, but like listen to, think about, apply, and do our courses, right? And then that helps us in the same flywheel. So like, I need to get my new members to consume our courses. When they consume and apply our courses, they get hired.
They get the result.
Yep. And then when they get their result, they automatically come back to us and be like, I just can't believe it. Thank you so much. We even had people that did it within our 30-day refund period because they wanted to like not have to pay.
Yeah. They thought they were going to have to refund. And then all of a sudden they had already gotten the result within the refund period. And then he's our best testimonial
ever, right? Like in 30 days, he was so determined to win before his refund period because he knew we had a process. And if he got to the certification, he could get a job. And then that certification could get, you know what I'm saying? So like he tried to do it all within 30 days so that he could refund at the end because he couldn't afford us. And then he actually got the client and paid double what he paid us, you know? So the flywheel works. So figuring out your flywheel is going to be important. So here's our flywheel. Yours will be slightly different because your trigger points are different. And so as you're learning your business model, and I'm happy to talk about flywheels in the community as you're figuring that part out.
And just interchange, our certification is result, you know, getting hired is the result our customers wanted and needed. So you just think of what is the result your customers want. So it's new member, consume the content so that they'll get a result. And when they get the result, they'll have a testimonial, which helps us get new members.
Right. So if mine was guitar, it was like being able to perform a song at my sister's wedding, right? Like maybe that's the result somebody learning guitar wants, right? So like I need to figure out like, how do I get them to learn the song within a certain amount of time so I can get them to get their result and I can get that testimonial, right? Like, so that's the process. All right, so let's dive into each one of these and the systems under each one. So like I have new member systems, consumption systems, certification, and testimonial systems. So for new members, we obviously have lead generation because we need a list. We have a paid ad system, we have a content marketing plan, and then we have an email promotion schedule. So these are like the 4 main systems that help us convert and acquire new members. All right, so in lead generation, we had our free class, right? So when we're running paid ads, we would go free class, which would tell them they're going to get 1 video, which was a solution for a hair on fire problem. A hair on fire problem is like something that's constantly bothering them that you have a solution for.
Google calls it the toothpaste problem because if you're doing things correctly, you're thinking about toothpaste twice a day. You're brushing in the morning and then before bed.
Right. And so like this is going to be a common problem that all of your people have. So for artists, maybe it's overcoming stage fright. For us, it was like, how do I not get annoying clients? Like they don't want complaining clients anymore because they're probably underpricing themselves, if I'm being honest with you. So like I would show a video on how to get rid of crappy clients and get the best clients. And so that would be a free opt-in.
And then the built-in thing here is the wow experience. So we're engineering a wow experience instead of leaving it up to luck that we get a wow experience. So they're coming in for X amount of videos, then they get on the thank you page and there's more. So we're over delivering right on the right away. And that immediately is like, oh wow, these people gave me more than what they said they were. Most people give me less than what they said they were going to give me. And so it's just a different.
And we're solving 3 problems. We're not just solving 1 problem. We're giving them tips to solve 3 problems. And we're doing it across multiple instructors because I want them to see they don't have to just learn from me and that all of our instructors have great knowledge, right? So that's what I'm trying to show them in this 3 free videos. And then right below those videos, so like literally it's 3 videos on a page. Like we're not just giving you 1, we gave you 3 and we solved the 3 biggest problems you have. And they're like, man, I can't believe you solved those problems for free. Like, I just want them to really enjoy learning from us. And so then right below those videos is like this time only, like literally you're not going to find it on our website. You're not going to find it in our email autoresponder. It's only here on this page. And this is the only place you can get this offer. And that would be our annual highly discounted rate. And then I don't have to put conversion things on my checkout page. I just have to have my checkout page and then proof. Like all I'm doing is getting testimonials because they sell themselves. Like if you can just show you get the result that your potential customer wants by getting it already for other people just like them, they trust you.
It's the only thing people really care about is the results, So if you have results, then they're going to buy.
Okay, so here's a couple landing page examples. So this one was for our free.
I think we have links, don't we?
I think so.
Nope.
Okay, so if we escape, I have it open in another tab. Hold on, you have to reshare because I think you were still showing. Oh, okay, all of Google Chrome. In a new tab, I have StreamingX, which we no longer need. Man, I hate that bar. Okay, here's my ninja hack for today. I have this little 1 tab and it opens up all the links I saved. Yay. Let me go to it. Okay. This is why I should have just linked to the public version, right? There we go. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. And actually, AI wrote the copy for this page. The only thing that I wrote was reverse engineered. And then I gave it a prompt and it came up with all the other copy for this page here. AI Midjourney made this image here. I just know that my customers are into tech. They are retro, and so I knew that our customers would like this. In fact, it was a placeholder. It was originally, there was supposed to be a different picture that was supposed to go there, but it went live with this and then it worked. And so we're like, okay, keep it.
Keep it.
So this is our main landing page. This one converts at 26%. Get a weekly dose of what's working now. Little story. We delivered it all to you for free and 1 weekly dose of pure marketing gold. what you get when you subscribe today. The only reason it doesn't have the opt-in boxes, I built this version so that our web guy would build it out in Webflow for us. So it would then have an opt-in box down here and terms and services and all that stuff. But this is our lead gen page. And then they should, when they sign up for this, also get free access to our free level of ad skills, so that they're getting our newsletter and they're getting the courses. And then the newsletter helps show them, hey, here's a new video, which then triggers the buying process.
All right. And then the next one is actually, we'll go back to present. Our landing page. Let me pull that one up too.
This is the workshop landing page.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's go ahead and pull this one up. You guys saw this to join the workshop. I literally went in there, I duplicated the page, I wrote a new headline, new description. When I find something that works, I like to just stick to it.
We just do it over and over again. There we go.
All right, so I'll break down kind of the main things that make this work. We've got a testimonial right here at the top. I always do a 50% off if you get it within the promotion that we run. We'll talk about the email promotion here in a little bit. Headline describing, the main benefit, little story that backs up the headline. Now you can save. Here's what you're going to get. I always have these parts in here, what you're getting. This is the dry, like literal, what is going to be delivered. Right. when you purchase this thing, this is our little mini.
It's the feature, not the benefit.
Right. This is our little mini contract of what you're actually getting when you buy. Here's a little bit about me. And then we go into the CTA, the sessions that you're going to get access to. I mean, you saw this, you went to our page, and then at the end, there is the testimonials. Now, this page worked incredibly well, which is crazy because if you notice, the price isn't on here. So 64%, we have it, you probably saw it, actually, you can see it right here. 64, almost 65% of the visitors where the conversion was clicking the add to cart. So clicking on this button. So 65% of visitors were clicking that button, and we sold this thing out. We
sold it in like 3 days.
Yeah, we said the limit was 100, and we blew past 100, and so we ended up having to do a second session, and so we ended up doing 2 of this workshop. So this page works really, really well. If you look at my most recent version of that, what I added to it was the pricing information, and I'm not sure I should have done that. It didn't work as well, so.
To be honest with you, most people assume a workshop is going to be X dollars, and when they get there and it's lower than you're expecting, then it's like, oh, I should do that before they make a mistake, right?
Yeah. So it worked well. I'm not saying we didn't, do well. It just didn't work as well as that one.
That one was probably our best. Okay, back to here. Let's go back to present.
I'm taking the price off of the next one. Who knew that something like that was going to work so well?
Right.
I mean, it's not like we hid the price. It was on the checkout page,
right.
So.
But it was also like the best workshop we ever did with ad skills, the best workshop lifetime of doing workshops. That one converted the highest, made the most revenue. That email series, we saved it, our model.
You're actually going to get access to the email series. All right, the paid ads that we ran. So I'm trying to show you guys, on the sales page, I said I'm going to show you every ad that we ran, the landing pages that we use, the emails that we use. That way you have access to all the same formulas, frameworks, templates that I have used to build my knowledge network example. So this is one of the ads that we used. This one was 100 new leads every week. And so it was alluding to our certification program. And so we were getting over 100 new leads, or no, I'm sorry. We had purchased a database of every Google Ads, every company that was using Google Ads, but was spending more than $5,000 a month. So that's like the dream customer for our client base. So we purchased the data on that, and we told them, we're going to give you access to this lead database. There's like 26,000 leads on here. You're going to get access to all their information, email addresses, phone numbers, all that stuff when you purchase the certification program. But the only limit is you're limited to 100 leads a week, which was more than any of our customers were getting anyways. And so this is one of the ads that we ran. I actually swiped this design from Rudy Moyer. Rudy Moyer had a very similar promotion with the same ad design.
I think his was like a whole grid of them, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, if you clicked on it, it's going to take you to Facebook. So, well, that will be interesting for going forward with the slides. Just press
All right, next example, this was our Black Friday sale, and the only difference, I just couldn't find it in the Facebook ad library. It was the same image just made into a square. And so kind of a bit of a meme. You got a crazy guy with a jetpack, and it said, "This is you with ad skills and our Black Friday sale." Not only did we slash $2,000 off the price, but we also added 3 massive bonuses. Then the next ad, this was more of a kind of a content-based ad. And so this is what they saw was this one screen here. It said 10 online ads that made millions, and it was actually a carousel so they could scroll through and see more ads, and just kind of gave them a taste of the level of content that they would be getting access to inside of Ad Skills. That one worked out pretty well for us as well. I think that's all of our ads. Here's another one, same style, but this one was 3 low-cost ad campaigns that you could run.
This one did really well.
Yeah, we ran this one for quite a while. Do you need 3 cheap, effective, and easy ad campaigns? Can start with just $5 a day. Almost always generates a positive ROI. So this was like the dream statement of our customers. Losing my voice. This was another one. Go ahead.
Yeah, we ran this one. We talked about it earlier using a meme, but like this meme did so well in getting us comments that we then republished it as an ad and then got a ton of engagement as well. So
yeah, so that one worked really well for us. And then this is just our fan page.
Yeah. I'm not sure why it's linked there. I think it was so that I could go show the ads if I need to.
So that was our paid ad strategy. I showed you the page that we were driving to. We were either driving to our lead gen workshop from email, or we were driving to our email opt-in page. Then we've got our content marketing strategy. The bulk of the money that we've made with Ad Skills has actually come from content marketing. I know we're an advertising business. However, we did advertising, we did a lot of remarketing, we did a lot of content distribution. Those ads worked out well. This worked even better. There was just a higher profit margin. It wasn't that we can't do ads. It just worked better and more profitable for us to do content marketing. And then what we would do is when some of our content marketing did well, we would put paid ads behind that content.
All right. So now this is the email promotion schedule. Like literally, we've just gone back through what has worked really well month after month after month. And like in Ad Skills, when we first started, it was very seasonal. It was like we would go into we would pre-warn when we were doing one-time payment Ad Skills. So like Ad Skills 1.5, right? Or 1.0. We would forewarn our sales guys, like, don't spend all of your Q4 money before you get to the summer, because everyone takes vacation in the summer. And so it's really hard to sell in the summer. And so I'm not saying that will be the case for your industry, because, like depending on the niche you're in, people have off in the summer. They consume more content in the summer. We consume more content in the summer. But I'm not normally thinking about how am I going to scale my business in July. So we had a very seasonal. And so when we crafted these, this version is what we did to overcome the highs and the lows, or the seasonality of the business. So January, we always kick off with a workshop. Everyone is so motivated at the beginning of the year that like they are ready. They want you to hold their hand. They want you to walk you through it. They want you to say like, this is how you get a fresh start this year, and we're going to help you get that fresh start. So a workshop is phenomenal in January. February, Valentine's just makes it easy to say, bring a friend. That's what BAF stands for. And so we do a promotion where they get to bring a friend. So one person pays and you get to bring a friend. So most people just, somebody Venmos you half the payment, but two people get access. So it's like getting 50% off, but really we get two customers out of one price tag.
And a lot of people would just share it with their friend. It would,
Yeah.
Instead of them paying the whole price, they would just,
split the cost. That's what I mean. Like one person pays, the other friend Venmos half, and then, same thing. But really all they had to do was say like, here's my receipt. This is the friend I want to invite. So like we did it as a very manual process. Are there ways to automate that process? Yes, because Masterclass has clearly figured that out. But like on a smaller scale for ad skills, it was just as simple to say, yeah, just send us the email of who you'd like once you reply to your receipt. So like they would forward us their receipt with the email address of their friend. We would just go add them to our members area, done and over with. Awesome job.
And so actually, this is the profit generators, right?
Yeah.
These promotions are like our upsells, our back ends, not like we were doing the paid ads, the landing pages, all that just to the front end, the main thing. But then once a month, we had a promotion planned. And so we didn't have this calendar until we went through it the first year. And then we looked through our whole year of promotions. We're like, okay, these were the best promotions. Let's do that again and again, and so we like to find what's working and then just keep doing what worked. And so these are our profit generators. These are not like promoting the $19.99 a month or the annual plan. This is promoting the upsells, the back ends for, driving more profit to the business.
But I would say like when you see like in March, you'll see spring sale, like those are discounts. Those are like, hey, instead of, $49.99 a month, you can get it for $10 off, so like, there are times when you want to get them off the fence and get them to buy so that they can get on that monthly recurring promotion or payment plan. April, again, we did a quarterly workshop. You'll see that there's a process. Like we did a workshop every quarter. May, we always did some kind of giveaway, like get this when you do this. And it was really just an engagement campaign. So like sometimes we give away free books, sometimes we give away free memberships, sometimes we give away free upgrades when they got a friend to sign up. So like you're just looking for a way to give them more value for doing something that increases your value. So like sometimes getting testimonials or reviews on your Facebook page or reviews in Google, those types of things. So like we would do a big giveaway in these months of something that they want. And then in exchange, we would get other value, even if it wasn't monetary value. It would just be valuable in testimonials or valuable in extra content.
And the way that we did our giveaways, we always made sure that they had a viral component to them. Almost nobody wants to share a giveaway because it's like, if I share a giveaway, I'm making it less likely that I will win. Well, a lot of the giveaway software like King, Sumo, and Contest Domination, there's a lot of giveaway software. They almost all use this formula now where the more you share the giveaway, the more tickets you have in the drawing, and so that's what makes your giveaway go viral, is because every person that joins your giveaway wants more chances to win. And so they'll promote your giveaway.
June, we always did a summer sale. So if it was, it would be a sale for like the upcoming workshop, or it would be a sale for like the pro tier. It wasn't necessarily that we were discounting our core tier, but sometimes we would do that as well. So like there's always going to be a sale at the end of every quarter. There's always going to be a workshop at the beginning of every quarter. July, a workshop. People like going places. So we would always we would try and have, we did a Boston Brewski workshop 1 July. Like everyone went to Boston. We did a whole brewery tour. And then like in the daytime of the day. Yes. During the day, we did the workshop. In the evening, we did this brewery tour, but we all hung out and we talked shop all day long. It was awesome. August, we always do a free summit. We do some kind of free workshop, any kind of give lots of value, because in Q4, we're going to hit our list pretty hard for the sales that are coming. And so I am trying to increase our audience size in August. I'm trying to show lots of value, give lots of love, and just build up, like re-engage audience that may have dropped off through the summer, may have just fallen off the wagon since our January workshop. We're just trying to pull people back in, and free summits do that.
Also, this was strategic because we know that fall was like money season,
Right, that's what, yeah.
for in the business world.
So September, like you're going to see like 4 big promotions right here. The BTS sale is the back to school sale. Everybody is buying back to school stuff. There is always money in September for anything back to school. Why not also put your business back in school? You can put a team member through our courses. You can put your business partner through our courses. Like we were doing a promotion to like get back to it. Like you had goals in January, it's September. Are you close to meeting those goals? If not, this is what you want to be on. So that was our September promotion every year. October, a workshop. This is typically a workshop that will help them make sales this quarter. And so I'm teaching, like this workshop would have been like for us, it would have been like an agency workshop. I would teach them like how to have a better pipeline for onboarding customers, like anything that's going to help them generate more sales for their agency in November and December. That's what our October workshop is going to be. So if I'm like working with artists, I'm probably going to teach them how to run Black Friday and back in end of year sales. So that way they can sell out their Etsy store.
Every market wants to make Christmas money in October,
Yes.
So if you have a quilting and knowledge network, then you're going to teach them how to make more money with their quilting. You're going to teach them how to make more money with their fishing. You're going to teach them how to make more money with their esports, whatever it is, teach them how to make money doing what they
love doing.
Yeah.
November is Black Friday. Everyone expects Black Friday. Everyone is used to Black Friday. Now it's like Black Month. Yeah. We're spending all of the month doing Black Friday deals. And so it's getting a little excessive, but it works. It works incredibly well. And actually, like in AdSkills, that's the only time we would drop our price back to a price you could get no other time.
Yeah, it was always a special deal because you can kind of train your customers to like wait for a sale. That's also why we had one every month, right. But we would make sure that once a year there was like a sale that was better than all the others, and we'd make $250,000
on November alone,
just that one weekend.
And so like this would be the time, like if I was still running AdSkills myself, I would be like, hey, the $8.99 price is back. And like shock everybody, right? But like people stay, $8.99 is proven. People stay for 2.5 years on $8.99. And the only time you're ever going to get it is Black Friday. So like, I'm not saying that's what AdSkills is doing this year. I'm just saying like, this is the time to have the shock and awe number that you weren't willing to give the rest of the year, because it's going to set your next year up for success.
Then December, we kind of keep it rolling. Our sales guys used to get mad at us if we kept the Black Friday deal rolling because they really liked the money that would come in from the Black Friday sale. So
it's still a good deal. It's not as good.
Yeah, it would. So the Black Friday would be a more gooder deal, and December would be a gooder deal.
Oh, great vocabulary. Yeah. Okay, so our end of the year sale was like, in the IM days, I would say like a fire sale. We would throw everything into it for this price. So like, you could join, instead of getting like the pro at $50 a month, you could get pro at $90 at the core price, right? Like, so like we're doing a huge discount, but we're also trying to increase our monthly subscription in November and December, because that's going to give us the buffer through that January, February, March again. Like we're going to increase that MRR.
Yeah.
In these.
And if your knowledge network is in the business niche, December, everybody's trying to essentially get rid of their profits because you're taxed on your profits. And so they're trying to buy things in advance in December because they don't want to get to January 1st with too much profit on their books.
And like most businesses have an education budget for their team. So sometimes your end of year sale can be like a 10-pack of licenses so that they can grow their team next year. So they're prepaying to put a team member in there for the following year, if that makes sense. So like you can get really creative in December to see like how can you bulk out your end of year.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the email promotion. It's a 7-day email series.
I meant 5-part.
I know.
I do it every time. It's my bad.
Yeah.
I got it right on this slide.
Yes. Okay. So it is a week-long promotion. It is the same promotion that brought all of y'all here. It's the same promotion I've been running for, I don't know, 3-4 years now. It's the only thing I do anymore because it just works. So I have 5 emails and I have them templated out. And once a month, I pull them out. I write my 5 emails. And it used to be Shauna. I would write my 5 emails and then I'm done. I give them to Shauna and Graham. They run them. The money comes in. And so day 1 is, a reason why. It's just the announcement. Hey, here's this thing that's coming. And what you can do to kind of lubricate the system, get the wheels running a little bit, is leading up to day 1. Maybe you talk about the topic a little bit. Maybe you talk about the problems. And so on social media, I did this 3-day series of hey, I tried to sell my company and I couldn't. And then the next one, I was like, I found a new business model that worked really well. I can't wait to tell you guys more about it. And so I tease the subject a little bit. And then I do the 7-day series, but it's 5 emails. So email number 1 goes out day 1, and it's really just the announcement. Okay. You're just telling them what's going on. Day 2, it's the summary of what you said yesterday, but it's also the bonus, so it's almost always, oops, I forgot. You can probably check your email and you'll see I did this same exact thing. Oops, I forgot to put bonuses on the page.
I can't believe we made sales without bonuses on the page.
Right. Oops, I forgot a bonus. I forgot to put a bonus, or I forgot to mention this bonus. And this one, I genuinely forgot to put the bonuses on the page. I had talked about it in the email, but I didn't have them on the page. And so I was like, oh, that gives me an actual real reason to talk about it. And so day 1, announce what's happening. Here's here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. It happens on this date. Just a straightforward announcement. Day 2, oops, I forgot to tell you about the bonus that goes along with it. Then we give them a break for a couple of days. Then day 6, and so people always ask me, well, why wouldn't you email them day 3, 4, and 5? You're welcome to. If you want to write more emails, write more emails. Like I said, I'm lazy. I got a system. It works great for me. It's made me millions of dollars. I'm happy to just do it this way. But if you want to fill it in, fill it in. It also helps my unsubscribe rate as well, because if I email every day for 7 days, people get tired of it. So I give them a break day 3, 4, and 5. Day 6, pretty easy. Hey guys, remember when I told you about this thing that we're doing? That thing, it's happening tomorrow, or the deal ends tomorrow. So day 6 is email 3, summarizing the promotion, the announcement, the bonus, and then also, hey, the deal is ending here. And then day 7, we email twice. Okay, so day 7 at 8 a.m. I made it a little late this year on this promotion. I think I sent the email at 8:05 to some of you, and depending on your email activity score, you may have gotten it at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you got it at 10 o'clock, y'all need to be clicking some more, let me tell you. Day 7, 8 a.m. We send last day is the subject. There's a little tag in the subject, last day for this thing. Quick reminder, summarize email 1 and 2. And then at day 7 at 8 p.m. Is the last chance, not last day. It should say last chance. And it lets them know, hey, there's 4 hours left. Or if you got yours at 9:35, then you know that you're on my inactives list, and I would like you to open and click a little bit more often, please. So yeah, check the time that you received your email, and you'll know which list of mine that you're on. And that's
actually a deliverability strategy. That's not a part of the systems we're going to talk about, but it is a system we have.
We mail our actives first to get approval, the high engagement rate. then we mail our inactives.
Right. Because otherwise, if you mail everybody at one time and the ISPs see that you have a high inactive rate, then your deliverability goes down the next time you send. So like we always send to actives first. We get that engagement high because those people are clickers. That way when we send to our inactives, we have a higher likelihood of making their inbox and not their spam filter.
Yeah.
So, but it still happens sometimes.
So that's it. 7 days, 5 emails, 2 of them go out on day 7. All right, it's a little tricky with the numbers, but screenshot this. This right here, of the 4.8 million, AdSkills made a little bit more than that because we had different carts, but in our SAM cart, we had 4.8 million in the history of AdSkills. I would say this probably made 80 to 90% of that money. You know, so this is what would you say that
would, yeah, I would say that's fair. I would put it in the 70 to 80% range because we had a lot of other, but no, I would say the bulk of it comes from a promotion like this. Yes.
Most, you know, so like 3 million of the 4.8 million came from
5-day sequences
from this right here. And that's not just me. Like I've given this to some of my friends. I've done this for other people. I've done this for people who never had a course before. And we ran this series for them and they made $20,000 off of it. So this is a proven framework that works. In the membership area, you're going to get a PDF that has access to the best one that I've ever written. But you can also just go check your email inboxes and see that I just did this last week or whatever. And you can have that series as well. It's in your inbox. Okay.
All right. Consumption. So remember, we want them to consume and apply. And so we already talked about fresh and updated content. I feel like we've talked about how we get our instructors to always have updated content. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I am going to focus on feedback loops, the consumption email series, and our quality assurance team. Because those were highly valuable. So we have 2 types of feedback loops. One is in our members area and one is in an email follow-up series. So like once you join, you're going to ActiveCampaign for AdSkills. For us now with Happily Unemployed, we're on ConvertKit. You're going to go into an email follow-up series, and that follow-up series is going to have a couple of feedback loops. So that way we make sure we're delivering on our promise, like delivering quality.
And by feedback, we mean testimonials for the most part. You know, every once in a while, somebody would send in something negative and that would help us fix what we got. But
right.
It's how we got our testimonials.
So in our members area, it's really hard. I have 2 examples here, but the easiest way I found to do this in Uscreen is to put an image like this underneath the videos. Because remember, Uscreen is a platform that's assuming they're watching from a device, not a computer. And so it's kind of hard to have like a button, like click here to fill out this form, or to embed a form on Uscreen. And so what I found
with Webflow, you can control every pixel.
Yes.
So you could do that wherever you want.
So I found that this was our easiest way. And so I just created a card and a thumbnail inside of Canva. I put a QR code on it that goes to our feedback form. And then I offered a reason why to fill it out. And so every month we just, you know, if you go fill out the feedback form, you get entered into a drawing to win an Amazon gift card. And the more people that give feedback, the less people win. But if only 4 people give feedback, then 4 people get $50 gift cards.
And when you're starting out, maybe it's a Starbucks gift card.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe it doesn't have to be $50.
Yeah, it's $10 at Starbucks if you leave us a little feedback. Most people will give you feedback for free.
Yeah.
But they'll, you know, to earn a $10 Starbucks gift card, they'll do it even more likely. But, you know, AdSkills, who was making money, was doing well, so we could offer a little better gift.
That, and I was also trying to get more current testimonials when I ran this version of this card. And so like all of our testimonials have been, you know, like 6 months, a year old. And I'm trying to get right now at testimonials on our Google page, on our Facebook page. And so like when I'm trying to get things faster, sometimes we put a little money behind it to motivate people faster.
And notice we don't have language of like, if you leave us a good review,
yeah,
then you'll, you know, no, we wanted honest reviews. We're not buying reviews. Don't do that. You can get in trouble.
Absolutely. Okay. I was like, well, how did this do this? Okay. I feel like I'm missing. There we go. This is the one I was looking for. So this was in AdSkills 1.0, but this is ideal. This is the one that got us the most feedback the fastest because it was embedded. Literally, it would be a lesson video, the lesson downloads, and then tell everybody else what you think of this course. And it would just be this questions. And it was a Jot form that collected our details forever. And with Jot form, I could automate it that if it was a 3 or lower, it would send me an email with whatever bad review it was. So that way we could rectify that situation. And if it was a 4 or higher, it would send an email to our customer support team saying, hey, reach out to this person, ask if they'll go copy paste their review and go put it on Facebook or Twitter for us, or Facebook or Google for us. And then give them a copy of what they submitted. So that way all they have to do is copy and paste it with a link to our profiles. And so like, that's how we could encourage people. Like we would say, thanks so much for your review. We would love it if you would post this in public. Here's a link to Google and Facebook. Here's what you said about us, and you can just copy and paste it. We just really appreciate you taking the time to let us know. Like we would say thank you a million times in that email to encourage them to go post that publicly.
So if they left something negative, we would reply to them as well. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
it would just
feedback.
go to a higher up, not
Right.
my customer support.
Yeah, customer support wouldn't handle the negative ones. It would escalate that up. We would handle those. We would apologize. We may offer them something for free and then tell them how we're going to fix that problem.
Right.
If they gave us a positive review, that is when customer support would say, wow, thank you so much for saying that. You mind posting this on Google and Facebook for us?
Could you put it somewhere public for us?
Right.
And then also you'll see there's a tick box at the bottom, like, do you give us permission to share your feedback with future AdSkills members? Yes.
Very important. My friends have gotten sued because they didn't have that. So add that in there. That way you have a paper trail of approval to use it.
And so like when we're doing workshops or when we have a sales page or on our checkout pages, like we can then use their feedback, like screenshots of the feedback form, put that on our checkout cart or put that on our Facebook or on our website, not on Facebook. So like we can use that content. We have the permission to use that content, but we're not taking that and posting it to our Facebook reviews or posting it. We're just using that in other forms of content. Okay. So the consumption series, this gets them to consume the email or to consume the content and give us feedback. So the first email in a consumption. So when somebody first joins up for our members area.
Yes.
Did you have something to add?
No. So we've acquired the person at this
Yes.
point. So a lot of, so the 7-day one, that was a monthly promotion, a big profit generator. We're selling workshops, we're selling certifications, right? That's different from this consumption series is they've just become a member and now we want them to consume the videos so that they'll want to buy, retain, refer.
Right. So this first email welcomes them like, thank you. We're so glad you're here. We tell them about our journey. We actually tell them about how our very first course was on a duct taped GoPro to a selfie stick. And like, we share that journey, but we talk about how like, little did we know then when we were making our very first course that we would end up with thousands of customers and hundreds of testimonials. So like, we just tell that journey. We build that relationship that we were like them at one point, just starting out, and we've gotten to here.
It's the humble brag.
Yeah.
It's your rags to riches story that just so happens to be like, toot toot.
Yeah. And then it's where to start. So a couple people said like, well, if you just dump them into a members area with hundreds of videos, where will they start? This first email tells them, hey, if you're interested in this goal, again, you know your target customer, so you know you typically know their goals or things they're trying to overcome. And so this where to start sort of says, if you're having a challenge with this, you'll love this video. If you're having a challenge with this type of problem, you'll love this video. And so I'm just trying to point them to content to get them to go consume. And then I tell people, if you're brand new, don't even know what a Google ad looks like, and if you're not sure what TikTok is, go start in the academy, right? I send them back to the free thing. And then I tell them, tell us your goals. I want them to hit reply right away because
Another feedback loop.
Yeah, they're going to tell me their goal. I'm going to know what type of content I need to make, right? Like that's the type of person I'm going to go find for future content. And then also I'm building a relationship with their ISP. Like if they hit reply to an email from an autoresponder, they're telling their ISP, I want to hear from this person. Look, I'm talking to them.
So that's like their Outlook or their Gmail, their Yahoo. Anytime you have a two-way communication, that's family, that's friends, right?
That's
like
trust.
you don't hopefully when you send an email to your friends, they reply, and you send an email to your mom and she replies, where typically with marketers, it's the way that they know that it's promotional is it's only ever a one-way communication. So by getting them to reply to your emails is huge for your email deliverability.
And so then they'll receive more of your monthly promotions because they're replying to your consumption emails.
Yes.
In step 2, we're going to identify a common problem. So like we know in the agency world, difficult customers, getting paid more than what you're charging right now, working less and making more. Like those are 3 very common problems that everyone has. And so in email too.
Yeah, if it was a phishing niche, are you having a trouble setting the hook? You're getting bites, but you're just not setting the hook, or maybe you're just not getting bites. You don't know how to map the area. You don't know how to read the river, read the water, and know where to be fishing. So right. Every niche has a common problem.
In the homestead niche is always fencing.
Right. So always fencing, and there's a hose that's leaking somewhere.
Right.
And so this comes back to your customer persona. That's going to let you know like where they should start their common problems.
Right. And so I'm identifying the common problem that relates with them. Like, hey, I know them so well. I've experienced these problems. That's also building trust. I'm going to agitate that problem a little bit more. Like, it is so annoying that keeps happening. And then when that happens, this happens. And then when this happens, this happens. So it's so important to nip this in the bud right now. Here's the link to the solution. And it's literally just another video in our members area. It's not an upsell. It's not anything. I just want them consuming and getting solutions to their problems.
That is a common copywriting framework. It's called the PAS framework. You can read blog posts about it. It's been used for decades. It's just a good formula for getting people to jump in. They're like, oh yeah, you're right. I do have that problem. It sucks. Thank you for this video.
Right. All right. I skip a day. Day 4, I talk about our mission to help. This is like a reach and outreach from the founder. This is actually from Justin. And it says, here's our mission. Our mission is to help our people reach their goals. Whatever your mission is. If your mission is to help artists get on stage, if your mission is to help painters earn more or to get commissioned projects, like whatever your mission is, tell them that. And then tell them to hit reply with their greatest weakness right now or their greatest challenge they want help with. And so like that reply actually comes back to our customer support. It gets listed in a list of content that we're going to publish if we don't already have one. And if we have it already, our customer support agent replies back with, this is the video to help you.
Yeah. So if you've ever been wondering, how do I know what I should be writing about on my blog? How do I know what I should be writing about on Facebook? What TikTok videos should I be making? If you have these little feedback loops built into your courses and your email sequences, the customers...
You never have a problem with content.
Yeah, the customers are going to just tell you what they want to know more about and their frustrations and their goals and their mission in life. And so you could be making content that just perfectly hits.
Yeah. All right, so this is what that email looks like. You're never alone. Ad buying is a team sport. We have your team. It's Justin here. I hope you're enjoying what we're doing with Ad Skills 2.0. Our goal is to create the best community for ad buyers on the planet. Could you spare 30 seconds and hit reply to this email with any ideas you have or suggestions for how we could make it to make Ad Skills 2.0 even better? So that's one version of that feedback loop from the founder. Number 7. Sorry, I don't know how I skipped that one. Number 7 is actually it's another content. Again, I'm trying to get them to consume our content, but here I'm shifting it. I'm introducing them to a new instructor. Like, hey, did you know we had this instructor? He's actually an ex-Google rep, so he knows the ins and outs of Google. So he has some behind the scenes knowledge of how to run Google ads more effectively. You should go watch that here. And I'm just like introducing him to an instructor. For you, I'm trying to get the heat off of me, right? Like I want them to see that there is value in all instructors here. And then in day 10, this is when I have a 10, a 30, and a 60-day feedback loop, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But like after day 7, I'm done getting them to consume because again, they're on a weekly newsletter. We talked about it earlier, that there's a weekly newsletter that shows you what content got released that week. It has the 7-day curated content that Justin talked about. So like, After 7 days, they're getting constant feedback of new things being published, and I don't want to bombard them. So my goal in the first 7 days is just to hit the higher level problems I know they typically want to solve.
Yeah, and we just want to get them watching videos.
Yeah.
If we get them watching videos, they're going to like the content. If they like the content, they're going to want to buy.
So this autoresponder series inside of ActiveCampaign has 7 emails in total. But then after day 7, they're also getting that weekly newsletter. So I'm not saying they're leaving this. They won't leave this automation until day 60, but that automation stays. But in addition, they're getting a weekly newsletter.
Day 10, day 30, day 60 is some feedback.
I'm showing you. Yeah. So that's why I didn't talk about it, because I knew I was going to have you. So the first feedback loop comes from the founder, but then the second feedback loop came from the co-founder, right? Like I'm trying to show that like everybody all the way up to the top tier of our industry cares about your success. So like
our top tier of our team.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So Shauna here, I just wanted to personally reach out to see how you're doing. I know that when you joined, you had a specific goal in mind. I want to make sure you reach that goal. One of the biggest goals we have here as a team at AdSkills is getting to know our members personally and sharing your goals with the team. So then the team knows what experts to seek out, what type of content we can create, and what to add to our goals list, because your goals are our goals, right? And it says, looking forward to hearing from you, co-founder Shauna Brook, right? Oh, will you do me one quick favor and let us know what's your current goal and how we can help you? So again, I'm trying to get them to hit reply, and then I'm also trying to find out, like, tell me what content you want. I'm going to go get it for you. It's now day 30. I can't see behind our, yeah, it's now day 30. It's been 30 days since you joined. How are you doing? Are you implementing as you learn? Have you had the time to complete one of the pro courses yet? So now I'm like sort of inching that like you should be reaching new tiers by now. Are you stuck on a challenge in your agency? Hit reply and let us know. Like I'm trying to like hit some pain points and get them to reply again. This didn't actually used to get me all kinds of things like, yeah, I just started my agency. I don't know how to hire, or it gets you that next level problem. It's a new piece of content to create. Day 60, are you smashing goals yet? There's over 30 hours of content inside, so I don't expect you to tell me you've gone through everything inside of AdSkills, but I'd love to know if you've met one of your ad buying goals. Have you created an onboarding system for your new clients? Do you have a pipeline full of potential clients? Have you increased your fees yet? Let us know where you're at. We'd love to help you get to the next level. And so again, I'm just trying to see inside of that time frame, how far did they get and how can I push them further? All right. Do we want to answer any questions? Because quality assurance is a process.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Let's answer some questions, and then I think we will be.
I know we're coming up on time here.
Yeah. The software only lets us record for 8 hours, so we gotta hurry it up.
Because I said it there. Yeah. All right. How does the business model differ from what has been traditionally called a membership site model? I mean, technically anything that takes a subscription is a membership.
Right. A membership site is just something you have a subscription to. You can have a one-time payment membership site. You can have a monthly recurring payment membership site. You can have free membership sites. You know, this is just a type of membership site. It is a specific business model under the umbrella of membership sites.
Yeah. Where does freemium level come into play? Because we've talked about our sales page sending to the annual, like where does freemium happen inside the funnel? But I would say it doesn't happen in the funnel.
If you saw in that funnel again, and again, it's on my Facebook, you'll have the slides tomorrow, the link, they're coming into the freemium level, and then they're going to the annual. I want to capture that user first. It's always acquire at the cheapest level possible first, because I want that email address. It's the most important thing that I could be doing. So even with paid traffic, I'm going to that free acquisition, and then from there, I'm going to take them directly to annual. And then for my free traffic, I'm going to take them to a different page. Same thing, still going into the free level, but I'm going to try and get them to the $19.99, and then because I don't have the costs that I do, the same costs.
Yeah, literally everywhere we go, we tell people you can learn this for free. Mm-hmm. Like when you tell people they can learn it for free, they're like, really? What's your website? Right? Like that's the question. And so if we're doing podcast interviews, where can we learn more about this? What's your course? Actually, it's free. You can just go to adskills.com. Like on adskills.com, you see the free option, right? And so when we did podcast interviews, when we were posting on social, the whole link in bio, like everything posted to free. Like we want them on the Academy because we want to acquire the user. Did you bring in content creators where you had the deal to split revenue into the $8.95 model, or how did you handle that? No, when we were doing 50-50 revenue, it was pre AdSkills 2.0. And we learned really quick that that was a bad idea, because we're giving them a percent of every sale we made back when it was much higher priced.
At the $8.95, I think I may have bought one or two pieces of the content. And when I say bought, I mean I hired the guy for an hour of his time and asked him to make a 45-minute video for me. That was me hiring him for an hour. Make this video. I'll give you your hourly rate for that. I think I paid for one or two of those, but most of those at that point in my career, I had friends in the industry. So I was able to go to a few different friends and ask them. And then I also just collaborations with some people, knowing that they were doing launches, knowing that authors were launching a new book and all that stuff.
Have you seen two complementary knowledge networks work together somehow? For example, like a survival and a bushcrafting one. Would it make more sense to partner with a complementary business like Abundance Plus that already covers homesteading, or to expand it into just complementary topics?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we're building the network here. It's a network of networks. And so that's why we have the community, is we want to help you all work together, collaborate, be an expert in this person's one and they be an expert in yours. And so we want to help facilitate all of that.
And just to be clear, in case I misread this, like I would create one for survivalism, one for homesteading, one for bushcrafting, because those are going to attract similar but different target customers. Mm-hmm. And so you can even share users across those three. So like if you owned all three of those, you might do a promotion for, the homesteading one, and some bushcrafter somewhere is going to be like, you know what, I want to start a homestead. I should join the homesteading one, so like you can have customers across three different similar knowledge networks.
Or you could do a deal where if they pay for annual on one, they're going to get annual on all three.
Right.
And so that's a huge, maybe Black Friday type of deal that you can do.
Right. Absolutely. That's a great idea. That makes me want to start it. No, I'm just just to make sure about how you pay the experts. Do you always pay them $1,000 per hour? But what?
No, that's generally in my industry. That's about what the guys are charging. But I love, with authors, for example, most of the authors are like $200 to $250 an hour, and they think they're making a ton. So I love working with authors. Authors usually make better content. They're good writers. They're willing to do more than one class. Oftentimes they're willing to be in the community as well. So love working with authors. And sometimes they're only $200 to $250. And so the cost to acquire the content will be different for all of us, because your
niche is different.
Yeah, it's your niche. This is what their hourly rate is. And so my market's general hourly rate was like $500 to $1,000 an hour.
Right. And again, like the onboarding process, like that outreach process that I talked about earlier, is going to, like, our goal is to get as much free content as possible. We are not just dishing out hundreds of dollars every week because we want this piece of content. Our goal is to get free content, but sometimes to get like the premium name as an instructor, we're going to pay for it. All right, next. Do you offer support for your free courses? Yes. I offer support for all levels. Like I never not offer support. But if you're talking about the community, we don't typically give the community to the free level. So like AdSkills Academy is just the content. And if you want help implementing that content, you need to join AdSkills Core. And so that's how you'll get the community and you'll get help applying what you're learning. And that's the encouragement to upgrade.
Somebody had asked if mastermind.com was a knowledge network. It looks that way. I don't know exactly what they're charging. It looks like $1 for a free trial. I can't tell what they're charging beyond the $1, but it does look like that's what they're doing. I have a suspicion that they might be charging a lot more just based on the names and this industry that's in there. So I don't exactly know, but it does look like that's what they've done. It looks like several guys who've been in the industry for a long time. They have a lot of friends, they have a lot of content already. And so they're probably looking at masterclass.com and being like, wow, they're making way more money.
Let's start doing that.
Let's start doing
Yeah.
what those guys are doing.
Do you run the promo only for discounts and sales or also for workshops? Like, we always use a discount code. A discount code gets the highest conversion. If you're just offering like a bonus, sometimes a bonus content gets you as much, but it's rarely ever as much of a conversion rate if you're only offering additional bonuses. So typically when we're running a workshop, there's a discount code for a certain amount of time, and then you pay full price.
Yeah, it's just about the urgency. You know, people love a good deal and they need deadlines.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you put the power of a good deal matched with the power of a deadline, you get sales.
Right.
And that's why we do it with every promotion.
Yep. You may have covered this already, but do you cover how to grow an email list?
Well, I mean, that's what we've been talking about
Right.
the whole marketing session. You know, we talked about there's content marketing that we do. You can promote your clips. And then the way you grow your email list is you're getting the people on the freemium. The freemium level is your email list. They're joining for free. And in order to join for free, they have to give you an email and make a password. And so those people are your email list. And so, yeah, everything we're doing is growing the email list. And the way we're affording to grow the email list is by selling them the $19.99 a month or the $99 annual or whatever price you decide to use. But that is how we're growing the email list.
Right. Oh, we're almost done. Here we go. Do you find they get confused about the free and paid tier, what's in each and how to upgrade? No, like they understand the free tier. Okay, so when we first started on Uscreen and we had the academy was not the first thing that showed up. It was lower down. So people would be like, I can't open any video in your platform, but they weren't scrolling far enough down to see Academy. So we restructured our platform so that the free thing was up at the top. So that way, when someone subscribed to the free Academy, they got all the Academy videos right there at the top. And then just below that was the next tier, and they could see all the videos they didn't get. So when they click it, it says your tier or your level doesn't have access to that. Click here to upgrade. And that's a feature built into Uscreen that automatically tells them like these are the videos in your tier. Anything outside of this is not your tier.
All right. Last question for this portion. We've got Eric. Is it possible to share the exact funnel steps, page samples that bring them from paid traffic, freemium sign up page, everything happening between monthly and annual price point and sales pages? Yes. You know, copy that question into the members area, and I'm happy to put all that into there for you. It's a little hard to make new slides on the fly for that, but
yeah, and linking to them outside of a workshop is different than teaching everything about them on a workshop. So
yeah, so post that into the community, and I'll be glad to show you everything you want to see. I've got nothing to hide.
Cool.
Let's finish up here.
Yeah, quality assurance. So now, when we first started, we did not have a quality assurance team, which meant most of the time, Justin and I were having to watch and tell our team whether this was good or bad content. And so we spent most of our time teaching our team what was good. But then I realized like our customers already know what sucks and what doesn't. And so I just asked our customers to see if anybody would be willing to do this. And so the quality assurance team eliminated the problem of people like giving us webinars as content. So like some people would go through that instructor onboarding process, and we'd get there and it's literally just a webinar with like 3 slides worth of value.
A complete pitch.
And it's nothing but a pitch for like 40 minutes, but the first 15 minutes were like some kind of content, maybe sort of you could count it as that. And that was offensive to me, you know? So having a team filter that made it easier. And so we eliminated that problem with getting 5 to 10 of our members, and we compensated them by either giving them a free access to our program. So like if they were already paying a monthly subscription, we just made their subscription free, or giving them free access to our workshops. It really depended on what they requested. And we gave that to them. So we focused on what's in it for them, what work is involved, and then I set their time expectations.
So this is like 6 of our customers.
It was 10 of our customers.
10 of our customers. And they got a free account and a special promo code
to join our workshop.
To join our Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I'm building this, I'm going to literally walk you through I posted this in our community. I said, I'm looking for 2 to 5 people that would be on our quality assurance team. You get early access to classes we're considering on publishing. I'm not going to read you the whole thing because I gave you a copy of this inside the members area. But I talk about like, what do they get? How much time is it going to take? Because again, their time is valuable and I want to value them. But I told it's going to be like 2 to 6 hours a month. It really depended on how many instructors were submitting content, but I know I'm only publishing 4 things a month. So it's going to be at least 4, right? I did that again. All right. In exchange for your time, we're going to give you these bonuses. So I focused on what's in it for them for the first section, and we give you a free access to our workshop. We can pay you for your time. Please include a quote. I offered that, but I didn't end up having to pay anybody. Everybody just wanted free access to things that they wanted, but they didn't want to pay for, right? And then if you'd like to be a Q&A team member, please send an email to my email. And then I made sure to say like with the subject line Q&A team. And really it's because I had an email assistant and she was answering all of these for me. And then I told them when I would make the decision by. I had like a 2-week time frame.
Who better to tell you if your classes are any good than your customers, you know? And so we had customers of AdSkills that would vet every new class coming in, and they would tell us, hey, this one's not really that great. You may want to tell them this, or their audio is out, or, you know, the audio cut out in the middle. You know,
I answer that in just a second.
Sorry.
So then after I made that post, I got a flooded, hundreds of people wrote me, and I was like, oh man, this is painful. But they had more questions like, oh, I'm just a beginner. Could I fit for the Q&A team? I don't have any ad buying experience, or like whatever it was. So I explained, this is how it works. Most people wanted to know, like, what will I actually be doing for 4 to 6 hours a month? And so I just explained, like, we're going to get a video. I need you to watch it, fill out a short 4-minute survey, and that's it. And then your experience level, like I was trying to get beginners, intermediate, and advanced, because I wanted the opinion of all 3 levels to know if it was valuable and at what tier was it valuable. Should I put that content in our pro tier? Should I put our content in our core tier? Like, this helped me sort and filter. So this is the email I sent them. Again, I give you a copy of this in the members area, but here's a quick, I said, you made it. I know it's been a few weeks because, you know, they applied, but then didn't hear anything back from me. So I said, you made it. I chose you based on your answers. Here's what's next. And then I tell them exactly what's going to happen. I sent them a link to the post of what they signed up for, just to remind them, like, hey, this is what you asked for. If that changed, let me know. And then I said, ideally, like, this is the process. I need you to fill out the form here. That's what's blurred out right there, because I don't want you to go into my form. I gave you a copy of the form, but I don't want you to go to it because it has automations that are currently in place for AdSkills. And then before you go, I just wanted to say thanks. Our community continues to amaze me with their skills, kindness, and support for each other. And then I dropped the link to the feedback form again. So this is what the form looks like. I have 4 questions in the form that are actual qualifying questions. Like, there were the decision on whether we say yes to having that content on our platform or no. And this was one of them. So if we didn't get an A or B here, the content didn't go any further. Like, we didn't accept them. They got a, sorry, your content isn't accepted. And I show you that email in a minute also. But like, if their overall impression isn't like, yes, this was hugely valuable, or I see at least one golden nugget, it's not worth being in AdSkills. So we didn't accept it. What's the title and author? Actually, I'm getting our Q&A team to do a little bit of work for me, right? Like, they're organizing this for me. So it's really easy for my VA team to be able to say, okay, this is going to come here. This is the author. These are the details. And so my Q&A team is doing a little bit of the work that my VA team doesn't need to do now. Which team member are you? Now, again, I want to make sure they're active and participating. One, because I'm sending them something awesome at Christmas every year. But I also don't want them just being on the team, not doing any work, and still getting half off everything in our business. Yeah. And so
when you start out, you may only have 1 or 2, you know, and right. If you have John and Sally, and John is never watching the videos and only Sally is,
then yeah.
John's not going to keep getting his prizes every month.
But when you have 10, you sort of want to track like who's the most active. And when I got a most active, I would send them like an extra thank you. Like if there was one person that would consistently every day every time within 24 hours, always respond. They never missed one. So I sent them a little something extra at Christmas, not just a free workshop discount. And then I even had somebody write me and be like, I'm sorry, my mom fell ill. I'm going to have to just step down from this. I don't want to lose my spot or my discount, but I just can't right now. I need a break for 6 months. And I was like, take the time. But they cared so much about this role in our community. And I felt honored. So that's why we had this one. The Q&A team helped my VAs know what category to put this in our business. So again, our VAs or our team members don't always know what topics go with what categories because they're not ad buyers. So our VA team would be like, yep, this is a Facebook ads video, or this is an agency video.
And then you find out it's actually Twitter ads or something like that. But our customers knew the difference. So it was much easier for them to say, hey, this goes in this category, this goes in that category.
Right. So I know that was a very generic, a very easy to answer, but sometimes the topics would be I don't know where to place this, but the QA team would know how to categorize that. And so I sort of had them helping my VAs at one point because they're already watching it. They might as well help us. And then this video training easily fits into one of the following categories. And so these are the categories that we would have. So when we gave you our content categories, it was paid ads, we had agency life, we had tracking, we just put our categories here. The last page actually gave us niche down topics. So tags that we would put for a video. So Google ads, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, things like that. All right, so this is another qualifying question. They would need to either tick all 5 or 4 out of 5. So if it had more than 4 things missing, it didn't get published. And so that's all audio quality. We want dogs barking. We don't want sirens. If it
has one thing missing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said more than 4. More than
it
one.
has to have 4.
Has to have 4.
To move forward. Yes. So if one of them is a problem, that's okay. But 2 or more is no good. The visuals on the screen move at least twice per minute. That's actually not a huge problem because my video editor can add to that. So if anything, that's one that I would be okay with. But ideally, I just don't want a talking head and one slide for 40 minutes. That would be miserable. And so these are some qualifying points so that we can have visually and auditorily great content. Does this video have a specific target audience? So inside ad skills, not every piece of content was for all members. And so if it was for something specific, I would sort of want to know, mostly so that when we do the announcement, we could call out to that and highlight it for, people that were chiropractors or local business owners. Or if we had agency owners that specifically dealt with running ads for nonprofits or churches, we just wanted to call out to that to show that we're supporting those members. And so really it just helped me with the announcement and making it more detailed. I know you're watching my clock. This is a long section. This is another qualifying question. I want us to have innovative training. So if my Q&A team doesn't think it's innovative, I sort of don't want it on our platform. I don't just want any YouTube video. I want great content on our platform. And so I told them to interpret innovative however they want. And so again, this is it just sort of let me gauge how excited they were for the type of content. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this training to a friend, a team member, or a client? And so I'm looking for a 7 or higher here. This is, what's that NES score? It's Net Promoter Score.
Yeah, NPS.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And so I always want a 7 or higher here. I don't want anything under a 7. Total honesty, this is where they just get to fill in the blank. And this helps me get more details on if I'm on the fence for publishing this or on the fence for removing it. Or if I'm just well, it was a good piece of content, but not a great piece of content. Maybe I could ask the instructor to tweak it slightly, or maybe we can edit it slightly. And so I really just took the honest feedback of the team to make a better decision on this piece of content if it was on the fence. Again, this is my favorite gift. You are awesome. You're done. Thank you. Always encouraging and appreciating their time. The certification process, I think since we're running so close on time, I should probably skip this process. I can send a separate video in the members area, but really this certification process is what got people to get hired. Right. And so literally we want them to take an exam. And so at the end of our course, we would promote like, hey, you've been through the academy. Now you can turn this into a revenue stream. Here's how you do that. And so we would offer up 50 questions. They would have to have 80% to pass. And then if they passed, it was all automated from there. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to run through it real fast, but if you have more questions, I'll go into more detail. But they would pass. The Typeform automatically calculates that for us and says, hey, you passed, give us your name and email. And so then that Typeform would send the first automation, it would send that person to our Slack channel, a Slack channel where I had a VA that would then go add them to a bonus area in our members area. So like if they passed, they got an extra course that wasn't visible to other people, right?
Well, it was to help them get clients now that they're certified.
Right. And so like nobody knew that was there, but it was an added bonus that they didn't know was coming. And it also taught them how to value their skill set to pitch it better, right? So it helped them close more deals faster. And then it would send them email access to an exclusive channel we have inside of our community that gets them leads, like fresh leads that come in. We call that our matchmaker process. And so like now they're certified, they have a way to pitch themselves, and they're getting fresh leads that they can respond to on a weekly basis. And so this is how I get them hired. That's that get hired phase, because next comes that testimonial that I want, right? That same Typeform using Zapier sends that customer's information over to Accredible. Accredible then takes my certification template that I had designed by a graphic designer, adds their name to it, gives them a date to it, makes it really official. And then Accredible sends out a, hey, way to go. You should share this on LinkedIn. You should share this on Facebook. You should share this everywhere you want to share your certificate.
Again, in the beginning, we as a family were doing all of that.
Literally copy-pasting names into a Google Doc.
Right. We were getting the Typeforms. We're sending them manually to, here's your invite link to Slack. A lot of this stuff was done manually in the beginning, but then as you start making some money, you can start paying for tools that allow you to automate those things.
Yes, because there was a time when like I taught my son how to use a graphic skill, like Photoshop, so they could add people's names and export it as a PDF. And yes, like he got paid like $1 per certificate. It was awesome. Okay, so the matchmaker process is how do I explain this? So this is for the flip side. This is for businesses that,
and this part here is a little custom to AdSkills and certified. This is not necessarily knowledge network specific. This is if you wanted to add a matchmaker program to your certification, if you even wanted to have a certification.
Yeah. And some people don't, and that's totally okay, because a knowledge network does not require that. That's just how I'm getting people jobs, because I don't believe in just teaching them. I want to get them to change their life. And sometimes you do that by changing their revenue.
Yeah. And it's so Anne-Marie just asked if we still use ActiveCampaign. AdSkills does still use ActiveCampaign. We are now using ConvertKit for Happily Unemployed. It's just ActiveCampaign is better for a larger organization, has different automations to ping different team members. I think you can make ConvertKit do that, but it's not really built for that. It's more of like a smaller organization. So just, yes, AdSkills still uses it. We don't use it in Happily Unemployed. Real simple model here. They go through the Typeform, they get through an education email series, and they also get access to a private
And this
Slack
is
channel.
A business, like, no, this is a business that says, hey, I want to hire an ad buyer. We have them fill out that form. And that's how we get the leads for our certified members. So like, that's what they're, the flip side of what they're seeing.
So businesses realize we're AdSkills, we have all these ad buyers, and they would fill out a Typeform saying, I want to hire your ad buyers. And so they come through the Typeform. We educate them on how to hire our people. And then they get access to the private channel for certified members only.
Yeah. So that's how we did the consumption. And we just talked about the certification process. So like once somebody gets certified, we want to match them with a business that wants to hire them. And then the last step here in our flywheel is getting testimonials. And so literally we have, guess it, an email series that helps us get it, right? And so this is just an outreach email. Like at certain points you hear in the community when somebody is doing well. And so we just make note of that. And then our customer support writes out, hey, first name, are you willing to help? You can actually load these up into your autoresponder. That's what the little like hashtag or quotation mark First name is.
Yeah, it's a little tag that you could just automatically insert that person's first name, the product they bought.
Yeah. And so these are just 3 templated emails that we would send out to acquire customers, like, or to acquire testimonials, like, hey, we would love your thoughts on how to improve. Would you be willing to hop on a short 20 to 30-minute call? And like literally we'd have an interview, and I have it here. I'm not going to walk through each of these emails because the template is there, but the questions are here. So we would get them on a call, and then these are the questions we would ask. Is we would say, you know, how did you first hear about us? Which courses have you bought? Do you remember what you were trying to accomplish when you first bought? Like, we're trying to put them back in that early mindset and get us to tell the story about how our courses help them get to this new problem, or this new, not problem. I was just reading the next one.
And this is how we would get our success stories. This is how we would get all of our testimonials. Is doing customer interviews gave us great market research to update our personas, to update our ad copy, and then also testimonials and case studies as well.
And because a lot of people, when you ask for a testimonial, they're like, they get on a video and they're like, hey, I just wanted to say thanks so much for the quality content. Ad Skills rocks. Thanks. Have a nice day. But like, you didn't get any results or benefits. We didn't get any story about
before and after.
Right. And so these customer interviews help you pull that out of them and get the testimonial you need, or the one that actually makes conversions. So these are more questions that you go through. It's actually a 10-part email, 10-part questions. You can choose. We would do like 5 or 7 of them. So that should be there.
All right. We are at last minute questions. What we're going to do is, just because we're forced by technology to be done here in 15 minutes, there is another session. It is recorded because it's with James Schramko. He's in Australia, and so he wasn't able to be live just due to the time zones and the dates. We tried. So we recorded an interview, and what James is going to teach you, James is actually on the other side of this knowledge network business, where he is the expert that a lot of other companies are wanting him to put content in their programs, you know. And so he's teaching you what it's like for him, and how he structures his contracts, his deals, how he markets himself,
hugely valued,
how he earns money from doing this. And so it's a whole other income stream that you could personally do, but also an insight into the mind of an expert.
Right. And that's what I thought was hugely valuable, was seeing, like, what is he hoping to get out of it? Because if I can meet those desires, and he's like top tier content. So like when we get a guru, we do the extra model. So like, if you can get into the mind of what that top tier content would require, like, let's strive to be able to afford that. And then everything else will come behind it. Because if James is in here, James is going to attract way more people.
So because it's already pre-recorded, we don't have to use the Zoom hours. So we're going to answer your questions, and then we're going to stop the presentation, and then we're going to post the recording into the community. So if you're not yet in the community, now's the time to ask questions about how to get into the community, whatever other questions you have about the day, anything you're still confused about. The other thing is, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you probably should be.
We dumped an entire 5 years of content and learning on you today.
And so now it's time to like just relax, let this information kind of soak in, let your conscious just kind of absorb and internalize this information. You're going to come up with questions, and then you're going to get started. There's documents waiting for you. The recordings will be posted in there. There's going to be the James Schramko interview that's going to be posted in there. So there's a lot that's still going to happen. And then you're going to start doing it step by step. We're going to work with you in the community, and we're going to take you, okay, you're doing this step. Now do this step.
And I want to see your lean canvas, and I want to see your customer persona, and I want to help you fill those out.
Right.
So
it's our goal to try and take every single one of you to 1,000 members in your knowledge network. So we want to work with you in the community, looking at your landing pages, your lean canvases, your customer personas, your Dream 100s. Let's do the work together and get this thing built. So even though the Zoom is stopping now, this program is not stopping. This was just the kickoff to get you to download all the information to you.
All right. I've got 2 questions in here. The first one, where do you host or back up your videos and PDFs? I saw that you talked about Amazon S3 and Dropbox. If you're already using Amazon S3, is it still necessary to upload to Dropbox? Also, what's your take on Dropbox versus Google Drive? Loaded question. I'm a fan of all 3, if I'm being honest with you. So Dropbox is cheaper to me for volumes of content. So like when I back up our course content, we put that in Dropbox because I can just put course videos in there and it dollar for dollar, I'm going to get more storage for the amount I'm paying. But
Generally, I see us using Dropbox more for external sharing
yeah,
and Google Drive for internal sharing. So like our team shares everything in Google Drive. We might share with experts or other freelancers and stuff like that in a Dropbox.
or like our instructors are uploading content to Dropbox and my video editor is pulling up and down from Dropbox, but like we're only backing things up in there. We're not using Dropbox as a tool for delivering content.
Right. And we generally only use Amazon S3 for things that are hosted on our site. So, you know,
all of the PDF downloads for any course that is offered, it's going to be in Amazon S3, but I don't put video content there.
Right.
So,
yeah. So if it's, if you're trying to access something from the website, it's probably S3. If you're on our team and sharing files, it's in Google Drive. If you are a partner or a vendor, it's probably Dropbox.
Right.
And you don't need all three. That's just how we do things.
Well, like, okay, so yes, you have paid fees for Google Drive, but like Amazon S3 is based on volume of use. So like you're just storing things there, then just store things there. But they charge you for the bandwidth you're using. And so I find them the cheapest, if I'm being honest with you. Will the knowledge network model work for network marketing?
Oh,
I'm a network marketer, but I'm nervous about people getting greedy.
Oh, that is a great market for it. I mean, I could see, how to build your downline, how to do your social media, how to do your calls, what should you do when you go to one of the conferences, how to understand your downline, how to understand your point system. Okay, this is your first 30 days in Market America. This is your first 30 days in Lululemon. This is your first 30 days in, I don't know, whatever other.
This new one is out. Should we be jumping into that one?
I think network marketing is a phenomenal market to do one of these. And I've got friends that would probably jump into that. So if you're really considering that, I've got friends in that space that I could refer you to and maybe help you get some of your first experts.
Okay, so today, we have gone through, she said, I totally am. Awesome. I love it. So today we've gone through everything. We've overloaded you with, I was trying to get back to our first slide here. I normally put the same one at the end, but we went through the business model. We dove deeper into exactly how we are getting experts, but also how other bigger channels are getting experts. We walked through the different marketing strategy options, like your paid ads, your landing pages. We walked through your pricing models. We went behind the scenes, and I probably
I showed you my landing pages, my ads. We showed you pretty much every email we've ever sent.
Yes. And then even, probably things we've never shared before, like our autoresponders for onboarding customers. I know some of you on here are AdSkills customers and have probably already gotten all of those emails once before, but seeing the systems is overwhelming. And so applying the systems should be taken one bite at a time. So just pick one system you want to start with. If you haven't built anything yet and you're starting from scratch, then of course start at the top, do your lean canvas. But if you already have a community and you're trying to figure out how to transition from what you currently have into a knowledge network, that's where we want to talk about. Is it a marketing strategy? Is it a content switch you have to make? Is it just changing your pricing model around? Those are all things we've overcome because we went from a course business, a guru focused course business, into a multi-author platform or a knowledge network.
Anne Marie says this was gold. Thank you so much. Can't believe I paid less than $1,000 for this.
It's literally 5 years worth of knowledge. You couldn't hire Justin and I to learn all this in a day.
John says, thank you, massive over delivery today. I cannot wait to review it. So things you guys should be doing. Next steps are, remember, there's another session. As soon as we close this down, we're going to go post that into the community. So make sure you're in the community. Watch James Schramko's next session, and then get your lean canvases made. That's the first step. If you guys do that, I can help you a lot with building out your knowledge network. So do your lean canvas this week, this weekend, post that in the community. We'll work together. We'll do that step. Then we'll take the next step. And one by one, we'll build this stuff together, y'all.
Yeah. So
Before we go, Eric G says, thank you so much, Shauna, Justin and Shauna, for this workshop. Love both of you. Love you too. Thank you for all your questions. Really, man,
Super helpful.
you helped make today even better with all your questions. Todd had a question here. He also says, thanks again for the details. This was a monster question on the masterclass and Mindvalleys of the world. Since those guys are willing to lose money to acquire customers, and that's sort of our competition, doesn't it seem like an uphill battle to compete with them? I had to go head to head against Digital Marketer, and so there's a great book, Marketing Warfare by Al Ries and Jack Trout. And essentially what it teaches you is don't go head to head with bigger competitors, go around them. And that's an old war strategy where you wouldn't fight head to head with a bigger opponent. You would use your horses and you would flank them, and you'd go around and you'd split them into two. And so there's ways that you can do that. I'm happy to talk about that with you. I'd have to know a little bit more about your specific market, and we can brainstorm that in the community. I'd love to help you with that. I'm really good at that stuff. I had to do that. I was going head to head with the Russell Brunsons and the Frank Kerns, and I've been around 18 years, guys. I've lived through it. I know how to fight the bigger.
We know
guys.
how to outlast.
Yes.
9-0. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I have a difficult to pronounce name, so I'm sorry if I butchered it. This was the best. I'm like having 1,000 ideas. Just awesome. You're the GOAT, which I think is a great phrase. So thank you so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what you do with it. And again, we can't wait to see the journey that's happening next. That's what we are looking forward to as well. Today was almost just as overwhelming for us because it's like offloading everything that's in here to just get you started where you are right now.
But now we go step by step, one
Yes.
step at a time. We'll do it together in the community. I'll see you guys there.
Have a great rest of your night. I'm probably going to go pass out. I'm going to go drink tea. That's for sure.
Yes. Bye, y'all. We love you. Bye.
Have a good one.